Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal Network, and I'm Dave Does, one of your hosts from the A.D.K Rock and Metal team, and today we're going to be doing a video talking about payment for bands, and just a couple of ways about what the system is, etc. But one of the questions, or the main question here is, as a band, should you be asking for a guarantee? And I think this is it's not a straightforward question, or a straightforward answer, I should say. So, for those of you that are not in bands and want to know what it's like in the local scene, so there are multiple ways that bands can approach it. So there is the outright no money, no guarantee, no chance of ever getting paid. You're just going to play the gig. So that's the simple one. You put that to the side, you know what's coming on that one. There are effectively pay to play, so there'll be venues that will basically say, look, doesn't matter if you don't sell any tickets, however, for every ticket you sell, you'll get £1 of that back. So effectively, you sell 100 tickets, you get 100 quid basically. So it's the incentive for the band to really try and push that event. So there's a lot of places that still do that. It's not effectively pay to play because there's not kind of a case of if you don't sell tickets then you won't get to play again. It's just a case of it's the only way that you're really going to make any money. There are percentage based promotions, which is what we do, which is basically once the initial costs of what the promoter has to pay out to hire the venue, the sound engineer, ad campaigns, whatever it might be, once that's covered, you do a percentage split, which is usually around about, if there's 4 bands on the bill, it's usually about 20% across the bands, 30% for the headliner, and 10% to the promoter. For us, that's how we split it down. And then you get the ones which want a guarantee, where you will have a set amount that you're guaranteed no matter what, plus you then get a percentage split of anything above that. So what you then get effectively is the guarantee comes as part of the core expenses. So you have the venue cost. As a promoter, you would then have the guarantee of a band. So let's say you have a £200 guarantee across for these bands. That'll be your headliners that are coming in. So you've got your £200 there, you've got your other £200 of expenses, etc., that you might have for the sound engineer and the bar staff or the door person, etc. So you've now got £400 to cover. Now, as a promoter, you've then got to work out the question of what's the venue capacity, how many tickets are you likely to sell to get footfall through, and then you've got to try and work out how to do it. So obviously, if you do a free entry gig, you're not going to make any of that money back, so it's a loss and you're going to be spending that out of your own pocket. If you do it for £3 or £4 in the gig and it's 100 capacity, you're not going to cover your costs even if you sell out, so you've got to price it. But if you go off and do it and go, well, I'm going to charge it £30 a ticket, all I've got to do is get 15 people through the door, but you're not going to sell 15 people on £30 a ticket, so you've got to price it accordingly. So this is where the big challenges come in, and I got asked the other day by someone why because I had a couple of bands approach me, or a couple of tour managers or management companies approach me about putting on a couple of a night, and these are on 2 different management companies asking me about putting 2 bands on for different dates on tours throughout the year, and they wanted guarantees. And I turned it down, and the only reason I did it, yes, there's a potential windfall if you do get a good turnout, because then you can get a percentage, but once you looked at the guarantees plus the percentage that they wanted, the likelihood was it was going to be a huge amount of work. Yes, we could potentially get a big gig in, but even if we packed the place out, my return was going to be very little anyway. The band would make out on it, and I would basically not make out anything, but the chances of it failing were massively expensive for me, so I decided to turn that one down. And that was my decision to do it. Others people would say, oh yeah, but it's great because you'd have got built up more of a reputation within the scene as a promoter, etc. But here's the way I look at it as a band, whether you want to guarantee. If you get approached by a promoter saying, we want you to travel a 3-hour drive to come and play at our venue, you have every right to ask for a guarantee, because you've been asked and headhunted to say, look, we want you to come here and play. So at that point, I would say yes, ask for a guarantee, because there's obviously something about you that they want you to play. They've heard that you can you can draw a crowd, etc. If you approach a venue 3 hours away and say, we really want to play at your venue, and then you ask for a guarantee, you're not going to get it. I think you shouldn't be asking for it, because in all honesty, it's a huge amount of work for the promoters to try to build you a crowd. The live scene isn't thriving like it was in the 80s and 90s with people coming out to watch gigs. And a new generation. Yes, there are people that do come out to shows, however they are few and far between. There's an older generation that still does. With the sheer number of gigs and the sheer number of bands and the amount of bands that are now doing free entry shows to try and get people through the door. We do shows where we don't charge a lot for a ticket. I mean, we just did a show at the Bedford Esquires where we literally had 2 weeks from the time of taking on the booking and the slot to turn it around and turn it into a show, and we did well. We had a good crowd, but it was a huge amount of promotional work to get involved in it to try and keep the costs down. And then we only charged £5 a ticket. There was another venue, the upstairs room at the same venue. The tickets were £22.50, I think it was. For that band, we were charging a £5 for our event. Now, even with a good crowd, we broke even and we made a little bit of money, which I was able to give to the bands. But if we charged a much higher ticket price, would I have got the same people through the door? Maybe not, I don't know. But the important thing for us there was to try and get people out to come and support bands, and that was the important thing. So, in the long and the short of it is, I would say if you are approaching venues or promoters and saying, can you put us on your bill, ask for a percentage split of profit, but don't expect anything unless you put the groundwork in and make sure you've got a good crowd out there and do what you can to promote the show. And that's not just occasionally like put one post up a week saying you're playing a gig. It's about getting into all the groups, making sure you've got media out there. One thing I would say to bands is make sure you've got some decent stuff to promote as far as music, videos, snippets, stuff like that. One of my biggest challenges as a promoter when you're trying to put some promo clips together to showcase what the gig's coming up is if there's no music videos and no official releases and all you've got is live phone clip footage. It's really difficult to then promote that gig with that band. All you can do is put a poster up and say, please come out and check this band out. So really make sure you've got the get out as soon as you can and try to get snippets, even if you're only just starting to record it. As soon as you've got a track that's workable, do your demo recordings and get some snippets out there just to, if you can get decent quality, and you should be able to on home recorders now, you should be able to get a decent quality snippet of a song. Even if you're going to go into and do an album or whatever, you've got to get something out there to promote. Don't use gigs as the opportunity of just building your following there and hope that every other band's going to bring people out. That just doesn't work anymore. So yeah, get yourself out there, ask for a profit split if you can, ask for a guarantee if you're asked to go and play the show. If they're saying come and play, then definitely ask for a guarantee, because especially if you're going to travel, if you're playing locally, to be honest, work on profit. And anyone that turns around to me and says, oh, you should guarantee bands, I always say the same thing, but you should guarantee me that you're going to get people out to your gigs. If you can't guarantee me that, I can't guarantee you anyone's going to. Why would if you're promoting on your Facebook, no one gives a shit and wants to come and watch you, how the hell is me promoting your show going to guarantee you any people coming out? So it's a working in partnership thing. So that's what I would say to people out there. So that's my steer on whether you should ask for a guarantee as a band or not. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.